Hey friends, it's Jenna from Naturally Empowered Living, a space where we talk all things mindset, productivity, and health in order to simplify and claim our lives in motherhood. This week's tip I'm so excited for because this time of year, just the theme of spring and you want to open your windows and pending where you live, I'm in the Midwest, the snow is melting, the sun is shining, and it's just that cabin fever is gone and you just want to it's fresh, right? It's just such a fresh time of year. So, this week's tip, I am super excited because if you follow me, if you don't follow me, I share a lot about starting within and I share about our mindset and just how cultivating that unshakable mindset truly is the starting point to cultivating the life that you desire. So, today's tip is how decluttering your home can lower stress, anxiety, and overwhelm in your life. A quote that I read that it suits really well, and it's not from me. I did not write the author's name down, so I cannot give proper credit. But outer order contributes to inner calm. And it's so true. I know that I just said that I start a lot with, inner health and your mindset, but outer order leads to inner calm also. So we're starting within, we're focusing on within, but it also is from what our surroundings are. And a lot of our surroundings and our environment, and our atmosphere, and who we surround ourselves with really plays a toll on how our mindset is, how our stress levels are, if we're happy, if we're joyful filled, if we're drained, right? There's so many factors that go into that. So I really hone in on gaining that unshakable mindset, but there's a lot of outer factors to help keep that unshakable mindset. So having a connection to our home is so important. I've shared a lot lately with, how do you feel that your house is a home, and really sharing with decluttering and simplifying, and this kind of is going to tie it all together. So clutter and disorganization, think of that in a physical standpoint and in a mental standpoint, right? It leads to anxiety, it leads to inactivity because of the analysis paralysis or just too much information overload, right? So let me jump in because I want to share with you 4 or 5 things about, the clutter and the lack of organization, and then I'm going to spin it and really share some tangible tips for you moving forward. So things that clutter do in from a negative standpoint. Clutter makes it more difficult to relax, right? Let it be physically or mentally. Look at your home. Look at, are you a hoarder, right? And I'm no discredit, I've totally been there, but does that kind of bring on some feelings of guilt or resentment, or you're struggling letting it go, but it's that constant battle inside that you need to kind of clean up some things or get rid of some things or declutter, simplify, but you don't really know, and it's just kind of that heaviness in your chest or on your shoulders. So clutter also, it constantly signals to our brains that work is never done. If you're constantly looking at that mess but not doing anything, if you're constantly staring at that storage room but not making any moves to fix, what's not done, right? So it constantly signals our brains that just there's more and more and more to do. And I'm here to tell you that less is more, less is more, less is more. So clutter also makes us anxious because we're not really sure what to do. It kind of coincides with the last thing, with that signal in our brains that the work is never done. So living in a cluttered environment can prevent our body's cortisol levels from naturally declining throughout the day. So that is a very scientific term right there, but cortisol equals stress, and it's not bad. We all have cortisol levels within our body, but we're supposed to naturally start declining them throughout the day. You're supposed to have your highest levels in the morning just to kind of pump up, get you ready for the day and go, and then they naturally supposed to be naturally decreasing throughout the day, so then by the end of the day you're relaxed and ready to go to sleep. So clutter, again, it's not just physical, and there's a lot of health standpoints when it comes to this, but I really wanted to make that tie between from cluttering from clutter within your house, decluttering your house, organizing your house, but really taking that spin and making it, from that mental standpoint, because again, that's what I'm all about. So clutter is not just physical. when we constantly have things on our to-do list, constantly floating around in our heads, I always say if I have too many tabs open in my head, I have to start making some changes. So when we constantly have those things floating around in our heads, when we're constantly hearing that ping on our phones, our brains aren't able to just be, right? They're not able to fall into that creative state. They're not able to naturally do what they're supposed to do because there's all this overstimulus all over the place. Okay? So I really want this video to challenge you not only to jump into spring cleaning, but also to challenge you to, just pick and choose how you can declutter and simplify your physical and mental health. Because, I mean, chronic clutter, physical and mental, it leads to stress, prolonged stress, higher levels of anxiety, higher levels of cortisol, and that lower level capacity to think clearly, make decisions, and stay focused. So, disclaimer, I should have said this in the beginning. I am not a certified health professional. I have a medical degree, but not in what I'm talking about right now. So this is just my opinion through my experience and just through research that I have done over the past years. So now that, I shared all that rigmarole with you, that's not to really overstimulus and overwhelm you in the fact of, oh my gosh, I have to drop everything and purge. Like, that's not what I'm saying. It's just to be mindful, to take what I'm saying and think about, areas of your life, within your mindset, within your physical health, within your home. How can you make some little shifts and take those baby steps to reduce areas of your home and your life, to declutter, to simplify, and to allow your natural, being to emerge and not just be so captivated all the time from the stimulus and the outward noise, and just be in tune with ourselves. So I will go more in depth in this on my blog. This is something I'm super passionate about, and I was really intrigued to tie that into decluttering the home. But I would love for you to share one tip below how you stay connected and comfortable and productive in your home. So for me, this is something in decluttering, like I have to surface clean the house before I sit down to work. I have to, because I've always thought that it's just that analysis paralysis, procrastination, but it really coincides with when you declutter and when you simplify outwardly. I feel that calm and I feel that zen. It might just be the type A in me, but it helps. Just a 5-minute run through. I clean up the toys. I clean up the blankets. Whatever my son has tornadoed through that morning, I clean that up before I sit down to work. It doesn't take long. And then something else that I do, if I buy something new, bring it into my home, let it be a physical piece of clothing, I will get rid of and donate. I hate throwing things away. I love to donate them. But I will get rid of something too. So in my mind, I'm kind of doing that natural purging, and I don't really buy that much stuff anyways, but if I'm buying new pieces of clothing or if I'm buying anything new, I try to replace something versus just adding to that constant clutter within the home. So I would love for you to share a tip, a hack, any sort of thing that helps you stay comfortable, productive, and just connected to your home. And if you enjoyed this video, please, if it was helpful for you, I would love for you to like, share, and save, little bookmark this video, share it with your friends and family, and I would love to hear from you. So drop a note, send me a message. I'll leave my email in the description below, and let me know what you would like to see from me next week. I love to bring just real, raw, vulnerable, relatable tips and kind of out there ideas and things, just like today, right? Did you ever classify mindset with decluttering? So I hope that this helped you today, and I would love to hear from you. I am always sending my love and light.